Hey, I wanted to do something a bit different with my workout videos. I'm not the fastest, I'm not the fittest, I'm not the strongest, but I wanted to do some workout videos, and instead of, being motivational in the sense of, come on, let's do this harder, I want to just talk, I love to talk, and I thought this will motivate me to do the videos better, and hopefully people can learn something, or it's just something a little bit different, to music. So you can start off by just following what I do. I'll try to explain it, but they're going to be short little sessions, 10-15 minutes, just kind of easy daily sessions, and people can follow and just listen to what I have to say, and I hope you enjoy it. So we'll start off with 2 minutes. We'll start off with some burpees. Let me just check the time, 53 seconds, 54. Okay, well yeah, we'll start off with some burpees. So what I wanted to talk about was beating yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. Nowadays what we all do is we beat ourselves up for all the mistakes that we make. We beat ourselves up for not being the biggest. We beat ourselves up for not being the fastest, the fittest, the strongest. And this isn't just an exercise, this is in everything in life. We're constantly comparing ourselves to those who are better than us. And this is ridiculous. There's always going to be people that are better than you. There's always going to be people that work harder than you. People get put off doing exercise because they think they'll never have a six-pack and they'll never have that top body. But most of the people that have those bodies, unless they just, have some amazing genetics, those people work their asses off to get their six-packs, to have those amazing beach bodies. And unless you are willing to dedicate hours a day to, all of your day basically, to diet, exercise, routine, things like that those people have to do, then you can't really complain. It's like, if you're only putting in 10 minutes a day, or not even that, or if you're eating crap all day, not treating your body well, drinking loads of alcohol, you're not going to have the body that you're looking for. And this is the same with learning, with school, with work, There are people, right now we'll get on the floor and do, how many minutes is that? Oh, it's just about 1 minute. No, 2 minutes, sorry. Let's get on the floor now. There are people that work their asses off. There are people that work their asses off every single day. They get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, they go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they achieve amazing things, and we compare ourselves to those people, thinking that we're not good, we're not good enough, we're not as good as those people. But in reality, they just work harder. We could do that. Anyone can achieve anything they want to do. They just have to work for it. You have to decide what you're willing to work for, what matters to you. It's hard to have it all. It's hard to have, an amazing relationship, an amazing career, an amazing body. It's incredibly hard to have all those things. I've sort of legs in and out like this now. It's incredibly hard to have all of those things. And, you have to decide what's the most important to you. Is an incredible body the most important thing? Well, maybe if you want to be a model. Is an incredible, an incredible relationship important to you? Well, yeah, it should be. That should probably be the most important thing. No, I take that back. An incredible career should be the most important thing for everybody. An incredible career. Everybody should be doing what they want, doing what they can to have the best possible career, do the best possible thing with the opportunities they've been given. And another thing as well about not beating yourself up. Sorry, I don't know how long the time is going on for this, so I don't know how hard it's going to be. This one I really like. It's a bit like rowing a boat. Try and keep your back off the floor, but come down as flat as you can, and come back up If you have to hold your knees like this, you can as well. Bring it in and out. But yeah, you know, everybody beats themselves up non-stop. We always criticise ourselves for the things that we haven't done. We criticise ourselves for drinking too much, for eating too much sugar at the weekend, for putting on some weight over Christmas. But we don't give ourselves credit for the amazing things that we have done. We don't give ourselves credit for getting a promotion, you know, getting good grades at school. Okay, we didn't get the top ones, but we still did really well, you know. We don't give ourselves credit for anything, I think. A lot of people, you know, everything that we have now is all about being the top, being the best. You know, everything we get scored out of. Come now on to, how many minutes is that? 6 minutes. Yeah. Come now on to press ups. Just straight military press ups like this. Elbows coming in to touch, you know, they're right next to your body like this. Just coming down, nose to the floor. But yeah, everything nowadays is just, you know, a system of 1 to 10 of how good we are at this, how good looking we are, how smart we are, the grades we get at school. And of course, all of this grading is great, but you know, you need to understand that you're not going to get a 10 in everything, you know, unless you are either working your arse off, oh, do a little stretch, or you are incredibly gifted. You're not going to get a 10 in everything. Oh, that's hard. Oh, we're going to plank now. I'm doing it a bit strangely because I've got a new tattoo, but usually do it on the forearms with the fists like this. But what was I saying? Yeah, unless you're incredibly gifted, you're not going to get a 10 in everything. You're not going to get top marks, and that's totally fine. School is very difficult because, you know, you might have 30 kids in a class. All of those kids learn in different ways. All of those kids have different talents. It's the same at university. You know, some people learn by hearing, some people learn by reading, some people learn by writing. And you put all of those kids in the same class and try and teach them in the same way, it's incredibly hard. People get left behind. People get made to feel stupid. But it's not true. No one is stupid. Everybody just has different ways of learning. And this is really something that I've come to realise. Now I'll change to side plank. Now with side plank you can come down like this if you want, or you can pop into the side down like that, or you can just stay straight. At any point as well, if you need a little rest, just take a little rest and then pop back in. But yeah, no one is stupid. Everybody just needs to find their way of learning. Like for me, I find it very hard to read things. When I read things, the information goes into the back of my head, but I do not know what it's saying. Most things I read I remember, but I can't recall them. It's only recently that I started being able to tap back in to this memory that I have of things I've learned from, you know, when I was a teenager and things like that. Change sides now. But people underestimate the power of the brain. If you put information in there, if you read stuff, even if you don't understand it, your brain still takes that information in. It's still, your brain, your subconscious still has that information in somewhere. It's like saving something on a memory disk, a memory drive, sorry, USB. Our brains are like computers. Everything we see, everything we hear, everything we smell, it all goes in there, you know. It's just about allowing that information in, forcing it to go in, and then forcing yourself to be able to learn to access it. It's called latent inhibition. It's how much information our brain allows us. Because we would go mental. Our brain blocks out a lot of unnecessary information for us. And I'll do straight up sit-ups. Our brain blocks out a lot of unnecessary information. When we look forwards, we can see everything around us. We can see, you know, in this room, I can see tables, clothes, bottles, everything like that. There's hundreds or thousands of things that you can see, but our brain just gives us the image of the room. It doesn't tell us like 20 t-shirts there, 3 chairs. Some people's do, but most people, they'll just see an image. And it's about training your brain then to be able to take in all of that information so that your brain can tell you 20 t-shirts, 3 chairs. We can train our brains to literally tell us everything we see. You know, some people that have ADHD or people that have, you know, more active brains, they struggle a lot because you take in more information and your brain cannot cope with it. Your brain can't process the extra information that you're getting. It's not capable, and it makes it very hard. It makes it very confusing, makes it very hard to remember things, makes it very hard to organise yourself. But with training, you can overcome that. With training recently, you know, I started training and medication a couple of years ago, and since then my life has been revolutionised. You know, it's still very irritating having an overactive brain sometimes because I find it very hard to slow down, to switch off. But I can take in a huge amount of information, and I'm learning to relax and learning to meditate. I'm learning to use different medications, you know, illegal and legal, to try and, you know, learn these things and be able to live not just a normal life, but the best possible life. You know, I started recently a process, fairly recently, of self-forgiveness, something which most people have to go through at some point in their life, and it's when they grow up and you realise, you know, you start to understand the consequences for your actions. Now do this, touch your ankles. Oh. Yeah, you start to realise the consequences of your actions. You start to accept, you know, some people don't cause pain and damage, but you start to accept the damage that you've caused to people, and you start to accept that the damage that people have caused to you. And then once you accept these things, you can learn to move on, to forgive and forget, and you can live a free life, free of guilt and shame and addictions, self-hatred, self-loathing, all of these things. Any negative emotion you feel, as long as you can recognise it with the help of, you know, studying or therapy in some session, in some cases. Come back to press-ups again. This time we'll do wider ones. Yeah, with therapy and meditation, learning and practising, you can just overcome any negative feeling. You know, anything from suicidal thoughts to mild anxiety, and anything in between, they can always be overcome. You just need to figure out how and why you're feeling like that, how to solve it. And it can be solved, you know. Oh, it's starting to really burn now. Oh. Every problem has a solution, and often the solutions are much easier than what we think. How long has this been now? 14 minutes. Okay, I'll do some squats. Oh, I think that this quarantine has been a blessing for the whole world, because it caused everyone to slow down. It's caused everyone to start thinking about their actions, thinking about the past, rekindling friendships, relationships. I'm sure that a lot of relationships, I know in my personal life, a lot of relationships have been lost, cut, new relationships have been formed. I see everyone around me going through this process of pain and suffering, but at the same time growing and learning to overcome all of these issues, you know. I think it's such a positive thing. It makes me so happy to see all of the people making these changes, and people really wanting to take the time to start reading more, start listening more, start watching more educational and kind of beneficial programs, you know. So much junk is on TV these days, and of course every program serves its purpose, you know. Stupid reality TV shows are funny, but if you watch them for 10 hours a day, you're not really going to learn much about life. And that's the issue. There's too many of them on, and people treat these kind of celebrities, who in reality are not very nice people a lot of the time. They treat them and they learn from them. They use them as role models and guidance, and that's the issue. I'm not going to name any names because I'll probably get death threats or pigeon bomb or something like that. I'm joking, maybe. But I mean, you know what I mean. We'll do a couple more things then, end it for today. So we'll do mountain climbs like this. But yeah, I know this has been a different style. I don't know, maybe it's really annoying trying to listen to me when I'm panting, but I just thought it'd be something different, you know. Get up in the morning, listen to someone talking instead of listening to some music, learn something in the morning or whatever, or as part of your routine, and just do something a bit different. I always use my workout times, I never listen to music. My mind is always in such a positive state when I'm working out. I always listen to, I often listen to different languages. At the moment I'm learning Arabic and Catalan. I've been learning Russian as well, but put that on hold for the time being. But this workout time for me, it's almost like meditation as well.